Hey, I'm Gene Goldman. Here's a look at the week ahead for the week of August 28th. Last week, the head of the Fed, Jay Powell, in his speech at the Fed's annual Jackson Hole get-together, he laid out his thoughts on interest rate policy for the rest of this year. As we went into the details, basically Powell reiterated the fact, what we've seen in recent Fed messaging, that the Fed is very data dependent. In other words, the Fed is prepared to raise rates further if they see higher inflation or economic growth continues to be stronger than expected. So with all this said, this sets the stage for this week. This week, we'll get lots of data on the labor market, on consumer income, on consumer spending, and of course, the all-important survey data, which is the first look at the August economy. With all this said, though, we are really focused on Friday's payroll report. So what I'll do is I'll discuss what is expected on this report and why we believe this report will come in lower than expected. So what is expected? If you look at the consensus expects August to show an increase of 175,000 jobs. This is down from July's 187,000 jobs. And as you see here, this should continue to slow the overall slowdown in job growth that we've seen all year. If you look at the last 2 months, for example, 185,000 jobs and 187,000 jobs. These are the weakest gains since December of 2020. The unemployment rate is expected to be unchanged at 3.5%. We expect payrolls to be lower than expected for three reasons. Number one, the impact of the Fed rate hikes should continue to slow the economy. Number two, the employment component of the ISM should continue to slow, as you see right here. This shows that purchasing managers, these are the people on the business front lines, are starting to slow their hiring pretty quickly. And third of all, if you look at job postings on Indeed.com, these are slowing pretty quickly. As you see here, we've seen a sharp drop in job postings on Indeed since the beginning of this year. So with all this said, the key takeaway is that the Fed remains very data dependent in terms of interest rate policy. Number two is that we get lots of data this week, but the most important report is Friday's payroll. We do expect Friday's payroll to come in lower than expected. And third of all, keep in mind that market volume would likely be very light as we head into the three-day weekend. So you could see some very exaggerated market moves, especially on Friday. Thank you for listening. For more information, please follow us on Twitter at Cetera IM, and see you next week.